Hello and welcome to Brian's Got Game. I'm Brian. Today I've got a game called King's Life. King's Life is a 4 to 8 player card game by Gwenaël Buchon and Bruno Faidutti and published by Pandasaurus Games. In this game, players are trying to help the king decide what to do on his days off. You see, on Monday, the monarch had to attend to his kingly duties, which have left him exhausted. The game consists of 5 rounds, Tuesday through Saturday, in which players lay down cards in order to persuade the king to choose a certain activity. These 4 activities, or suits, are tourney, dance, feast, or hunt, but he can only do 1 per day. The player that ends up with the highest total of a single suit wins the day. However, supporting other players or playing character cards can drastically change the results. So let's check it out, and I'll show you how to use character cards for special actions, and how to score points for supporting another player, and how to win the day in King's Life. To set up, place the board in the center of the table, and then take the 5 support tokens and place them on the days. There is 1 0, 2 2s, and 2 1s. So shuffle these up and then place them randomly. Face down. Support it. Okay, so then take the day cards. So this is the back side and the front side. They're colorful. So the art on these is amazing. So put them in order from Tuesday to Saturday. Color side face up. So these have different points up here on them, and these will give you bonus points. And then they get bigger as the week goes on. Okay, then take the 4 activity preference cards. There's hunt, dance, feast, and tourney. So shuffle these up and place them face down on the other side of the board. Then each player gets a standee, that's what it calls it. So we're going to play a 4-player game. And they get the support token of their color. Then randomly choose a first player, and first player token, give them the first player token. You are now ready to begin. So this game is played in, like I already said, 5 days of 4 phases. So, phase 1, so you shuffle these up, which I think I already did, and then you put them in order like this. So the king wants to have a feast, and then the second choice would be the dance, and then third choice would be the hunt, and then the last one, the tourney, will go down here and will not be used this round, so it doesn't give any bonuses, but at the end of this round, this one will go on the top. We'll shuffle the other 3, and then we'll put them down. The next phase is to deal out the suggestion cards. So shuffle these up, and then we will deal 6 cards to each player. So in the first round, you deal out 6 cards to each player. Then in the following rounds, each player draws up to 6 cards, excluding the last 2 rounds, in which you have a 7-card hand. The next phase is suggestions to the king. So each player has their hand of cards. So I've got these. So I've got a lot of these. So I've got dance, I have some hunt, and then I have this extra card. So what happens is that in the first suggestion in every day, you must play a card with the sun icon, which I believe is only suggestion cards, activity cards. Most of these player cards don't have a star like this one, but a couple do. So now each player chooses a card from their hand to play it face down. And then we are going to reveal them. Now keep in mind the king's preferences. The feast will have a bonus +1 added to the value, which I'll explain in a minute. And then the tourney, you cannot win using tourney cards. So let's flip these over. Here's 2 to the feast. 4, no, that's 2 to the dance. 4 to the feast. 2 to the feast, and 3 to the hunt. So now that that's happened, play starts with the first player, and they can play another card from their hand, like so. They can pass, which means they're done playing cards, and then they can still win, but they just can't play any more cards. Or you can play a character or one of these, and then I forgot to say, when you pass, you can take your token, your support token, and give it to one other player. like so, and then you can give them your card. So I'm not going to do that, actually. I'm going to play this card from my hand. Alright, so play continues, playing these cards. So I'm going to play this card. So this is another. So I played this, and it says draw a card on it, so I get to draw a card. So I played these cards, and I have 6 of the king's preferred activity. So actually I have 7. So 7, he has 6 dance, he has 6 of hunt, and then he's kind of not playing. I think he's just trashing cards. So I'm going to play this. 5 for the dance. I'll go. Now I'm going to play this. So this is 4 of dance. So now he's winning with 10. I'm going to play this. It's a 1. It brings the amount to 7. And then this player. So now I'm going to play a character card. So swap 2 activities in the king's will. So I'm going to swap feast and hunt. So now it's 8 to 10. So that's how playing the characters work. So this guy, I'm going to give support him, and I get to give him this card. So you would do this. So you would give him one of your cards to increase their value, and your support means that if they win, they get the day card, which is 1 point, and you would get this support token. No, this one, since it's 2 stay. So you would get 0 to 2 points. But you don't know what it is. So now this guy is going to pass, and I will give this support token to him. Okay, now this guy is going to play this card, which is Beast. He is going to pass. Well, he's going to play another Chamberlain and switch Dance in the Hunt. Oh. So, this guy passed. I'm sorry you tip it down. And now it's back to him. He's going to play this. And then it's his turn. And he's going to pass his support to him, and he passes. So, this guy won with 16. So he gets this 1 point. And then the support. I gave him the wrong support. So the guy who supported him was the wizard, so he gets to take this. Oh, he gets to take the Tuesday one, look at it, and put it in front of him. So then all of the cards in the display are gathered, and then discarded. Players keep their hands, though. Then we take the cards and reshuffle them into the deck. And then they draw back up to 6. Or in the last 2 rounds case, you would draw 7. Then the stands up, and each player gets their support back. Then you reset the preferences for the next day. So you take this one and put it there. So then you shuffle the other 3, and then line them up. And then the dance. Then you begin the next round in the same way as you did the first, passing the first player token clockwise. You do this 4 more times until you have completed your 5 days. The winner of the day taking the day, and then the supporter taking the support tokens, and then you add up the days and the support tokens in front of you, and possible bonus points from characters. The player with the most points wins. That's how to play King's Life. Okay, coming out here for parents' opinions. So, Dad, what do you think of King's Life?
I really enjoyed King's Life. I'm a sucker for card games, especially trick taking. This one is labeled as trick taking, although we'll get into that in a little bit. But the art is really what sucked me in.
Yes, the art is amazing. So, components. You've got the box, and then inside you have the little cardboard stand, people on the stands with the the plastic stands, and then the favor tokens are the same thing. They're just normal cardboard, and then you have the cards
The board.
and the board with the favor tokens. Well,
Yeah, they did a good job. In its essence, it's a card game. So the majority of the components here are cards.
yes,
There's not a finish on it or anything. They're just normal cards. And then there's a couple of board, chipboard type stuff in there, but they are durable.
yes. So artwork. This game really shines in artwork. So there's just a ton of little subtle things that you don't notice until the 30th time you play this game. Like just little things on the cards and on the board and how the layout is and the different type of artwork that they use at a specific time. It's just every time I play it, I notice something new with the artwork.
Yeah, I really enjoy the art. I'm not familiar with the artist in this one, and it's hard to pronounce his name. But I know that we played this with Bruno Faidutti at Gen Con, and he loves the art. He was very happy with how the art turned out, and thought that it kind of made the game.
Yeah.
And I tend to agree. It was really fun to hear him teach us how to play it, and he, was kind of talking about, the king and how he's tired of doing his work, and that really comes out in the artwork. He's kind of sad on some of the days, and then other days you're trying to cheer him up, and it's just kind of goofy, real lighthearted. The artwork style, I really like it.
So strategy. This game has a lot of strategy suddenly like incorporated into the game. So you choose the cards you're going to play, but you want to you want the right people to support you. You don't want if you're going to win, you don't want the player with the most points to support you. So you kind of want to be subtle with it.
Yeah, and I think this game, because the rules kind of force you to hold back and you get more cards at the end, you're really trying to build the best hand you can for the end, right? So like Saturday is worth 3 points. That's more than any of the other support tokens. That's more than any other days, and you get 7 cards that time. So I think over time, you're kind of keeping your hand and trying to build up the best hand for the last one.
Though something else is that while everybody else is keeping up, there's a lot of ways to go in this game. While everybody else is building up their hands, you can win all the first ones and destroy everybody else in the game by getting, I guess, it's like 1-1, 2, just more points than
Yeah, and the support
more than 3
and the support tokens, there's a lot of points to be had there as well.
People have run away with
And there's one card that I kept playing was, so you can only support one person, but I forget the name of the card, but I kept playing it where you can play your character card and then put your support on somebody who already had support, and then that other person's basically doesn't get to support anybody and they get no points. And so this is very take that, I think, as well.
Yes. So easy for kids. I don't think we really played it with anybody younger, but I think it would transfer over relatively well, but they won't understand the finest points of the game.
Yeah, I think they can understand the mechanics, but yeah, to really understand fully the intent of what they're trying to do. It says 10 and up on the box. That's probably a good indicator. I would maybe stick to middle school and up to fully grasp, that you're playing these cards. You're playing it over a series of rounds, and then the character cards mix everything up. The supporting. There's a lot going on.
Yes.
So my recommendation would be middle school and up. If somebody plays a lot of card games, trick-taking games, maybe a little bit younger could do that. 10 or 11. I tend to think 12 and up. What do you think?
I kind of agree with the box with 10 and up, like, though you probably won't be able to. For younger, you wouldn't be able to really play the game if they get upset about losing.
Oh, if
You
they're sore
want
losers.
to be kind of nicer with the game instead
That
of
is true. So
the original element.
on BGG, this says it's a trick-taking game. But I think younger players can get trick-taking games because you're really playing one card. That's the trick. You resolve it then and there. With this one, it lasts, several rounds of going around. So you're increasing your suit. You can even play offsuit. It's not going to, it might not win, but it could help you with support because the card you have to play is from your display. And so I think, that does make it a little bit harder to understand, and it's not a traditional trick-taking game either.
So it is very different from a lot of other games that we have played. So overall, I think it's a great game. So it's got good components, fantastic artwork. There's strategy, and you can play it with
Middle school, high school.
middle school, high school, and like it's got a pretty good range.
10 and up, yep. Yeah, like I said, we played this one with Bruno at Gen Con. He taught it to us. It was a great time. And he's one of our favorites. We enjoy Bruno's games. And then, of course, like you said, the art kind of sucked us right in. This one actually made our Gen Con list this year. So we ran to the Pandasaurus booth to go check this one out. And we are glad we did.
Thank you for watching Brian's Got Game. Please like us on our Facebook page. Send us a tweet at Brian's Got Game. Visit our webpage, briansgotgame.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Brian's my dad. See you next time.